and all those things that help to generate economic growth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That hotel closed in 2016 in December. It hasn't reopened. I asked you a question in the Parliament the other day. When is it going to reopen? Ralph Gonzalez said he would be disappointed if it's not open by this December. Right? So I said, because I know how he plays on words, so I said, does that mean that you expect it to open by December? Because you can't be disappointed if you don't have an expectation. The two things go together. Logical question. He said, well, I've said what I have to say and I'm not saying anymore. So as it is now, the Document Day project has not reopened. And I mean, I don't wish it any ill. I would want to see it open because I want to see it produce what it promised and to have jobs for people. And they could pay all the truckers and the suppliers and so on who still owe money. But right now it is not, there doesn't seem to be an immediate prospect of it opening. And my concern about the room, the hotel that the government says is going to build with borrowed money, that will add a further more than $130 million to the already bloated public debt. And what concerns me is this: why is it that we can't attract private investors to invest in a hotel? And if the people who know the business are a little gun shy, shouldn't the government be very cautious into how it's going to proceed? The government can't run a hotel, I'll tell you right now. The government cannot run a hotel. And if it's going to be a place where there can be jobs during construction for favored persons and, you know, you send people there when it's finished, that ain't going to work, because that's just going to increase the hardship on the people of this country. So I am very, very skeptical about that, and I think that what's going to happen there is going to increase the debt for this country. And the tax burden in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is already very high. 3 times in a row, 3 budgets in a row, 2015, 2016, 2017 and 2018. The government increased the VAT, the value-added tax. In 2016, it was increased by adding more commodities that were taxable. And basic commodities, not things like luxury items that only a few people buy. You're talking things like margarine and chicken and salt. That's where you get the name Bacchus salt from. These things were added to the list of commodities that you pay VAT on. So poor people were paying more tax. Before you didn't pay any tax on them. So that's an increase, effective increase in the VAT. The following year, the rate was increased overall from 15% to 16%. So those commodities that were VAT free before were added to the list. You pay 15% of it first, so the following year you pay 16%. In the third year, now what they've done, they've increased that again, but doing it another way. They can't increase it from 16 to 17%. That may come next year. But what they did is they increased the rate at which you pay VAT for the consumption of electricity. It used to be if you consume 150 units, anything above that, you would pay the VAT on it. Is that all right? And now what they're saying is anything above 200. So those people who would have been 175 watts who wouldn't pay that, now they would pay that. So we're paying that on electricity more now than you used to. That's the long and the short of it. So 3 years in a row, the VAT has increased. Vehicle registration fees. You know, my wife went to register a vehicle this year. He said, you know, they increase the fees again. It went up. Now we're paying something like close to $800 to register on a vehicle. And the potholes aren't getting any smaller. Where the money going? You know? You have these difficulties. And in addition to that, you have a situation, people catching the tail to make ends meet. And then you have the situation of crime and violence that is escalated in the country. Yes. The number one thing at people's mind, the crime and violence in Vincent and Grenadines. You know? And so we have been saying to the government, I call them, you know, I said, this is a national issue. I am prepared to work with you to try to come up with a common solution. So you don't trust me. You don't trust the leader of the opposition. And how we're making this into a crisis, there's no crisis. We know what we're doing. If you know what you're doing, you can't have a crisis. You know? But the people in this country, they recognize what the problem is. In 2016, we had a record number of homicides in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It was 37. In 2011, in 2010, it was something like, 2001 too. The numbers used to be around 10, 11, 12. In 2016, there were 37 homicides in St. Vincent. This is a population of just over 100,000. That's one of the highest in the world. In 2017, the number went up to 40, so 2 record years in a row. And people started crying out. The Christian Council had a meeting the other day to try to shine more spotlight on this issue. They brought in a professor from the University of West Indies, Anthony, to come in and talk about the situation. He put a very serious situation to us when he said that we are approaching the point where you're having chronic violence in St. Vincent. And if you get to that stage, you're going to be in the same situation like, say, Trinidad or Jamaica. You know, Jamaica in some parts they had to declare state of emergency. But this is the situation that we're in. The government continues to bury its head in the sand, so we don't have a problem. So in 2018 so far we've had 24 homicides. The year ain't finished yet. The fear is real. I want to just tell you, they say that I and my colleagues, we are scaremongering. We call it fear in people's minds. This is a Vincent newspaper. Not exactly an NDP mouthpiece. This is what they had to say in the September 28th, that was my birthday. September 28, 2018. It is a young male resident.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dr. Friday. On Friday. Happy birthday to you.
All right, we'll leave you second yourself.
How old are you now?
So what happened? They had them shooting up in shops. And this is what somebody, a resident, said, quoted in the newspaper. One male resident said that in all the years of his residence in Love Village, shops, he has never experienced an activity exchange of gunfire. And now quoting him, they said, everybody in the area is locking down early. We are having to live in constant fear. It is scary thinking about the robberies. But in terms of the gang violence, we know it doesn't involve anyone from Lodge Village. This is somebody who said they're locking down. You hear people telling you they're not going out at night. You know, this is real. I'm making it up. And so we need to address it. And what has to happen is that policing has to become more professional. They have to deal with the real issues of crime that is taking place in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Proper training, proper equipment. In some police stations, you call them and say something is happening. They tell you, well, call them back in the morning, because they don't have transport. Sometimes the phone isn't working. You can't function effectively like that.
So they don't have a transportation.
So I know time is pushing, so I will just move on. So what we did is we had a walk on the 8th of September and on the 15th of September. The point of that was to dramatize the issue of crime and joblessness. The two scourges right now in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the government had to pay notice because for the whole 2 weeks, that is what people were talking about. And that was the whole point of it. The first walk that we had on Facebook, they said, Friday call a walk and there's only a few of the NDP people come out. They missed the point entirely. Even saying that for the whole week, that's what they're talking about. The walk from Fitzhugh to town and crime and violence in the country and so on and so forth. And other organizations actually had walks themselves. And that was my objective. George knows that strategy. You know? It's not a matter of dancing for 7 days. It's whether you raise awareness by the activity you're doing, and if you achieve that purpose, whether you dance for 7 days or 9 days really doesn't matter. It's only for personal accomplishment. And for me, it's a personal accomplishment. I walked from Bravica to town, and I thought that was good. But I talked to old George, he told me he used to go to town and walk back. So I have to try that. But yes, we did walk from Bravica to town every step of the way, 9 hours, to dramatize the issue of crime and violence in St. Vincent. And I want that conversation to continue, not just there, but here among you as well. Because when you come home, you want to be safe. You've heard stories of people who come home and things happen to them. I had a rob, one person who's involved in homicide. I mean, these are things that you don't want for our precious St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Okay, so we have to do this.
What is happening? You have rape and sexual violence is endemic in St. Vincent. It is a national disgrace. What is happening with respect to sexual violence in St. Vincent? And it is too often we take these things as if it's just part of the course, that is how things are, and we can't change them. But I think we can change them, and we must work to do so. Kay talked about accountability. We've been pushing that. And the reason why, here's why, I just to say something about that, because it's something that we have generated a lot of public interest in.
516.
And when we talk about accountability in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as anywhere, this is why it is important. It's not a matter for economists and lawyers and so on. It's a matter for every citizen. Because our laws have very detailed structures of accountability within it, in the Constitution, in the Audit Act, and in the Finance Administration Act. Our government has not been following that. They have not been doing it. So you have a situation where, for example, and I give you this as an example, don't take my word for it, go and research it yourself. There was an organization called, not an organization, a program called the Petrocaribe Scheme, which was started by Chavez in Venezuela in 2005. And the money, that time oil prices were going up. Remember when oil price went over $100 a barrel? The government was allowed to keep a significant portion of this money as a loan, and then to spend it, essentially how it chose, on social programs. Our law says that any money that you collect on behalf of the government must go into the consolidated fund. That is established under the Constitution. To spend that money, it must come out of that fund, and the Accountant General is the person who authorizes it, he signs. You can't just have a pot of money by the side, that's government money, and you spend all you want. If you don't put it in the consolidated fund, you have to set up a special law, called a special fund, bring the law to Parliament, pass it and said, we're not going to put this money in the consolidated fund. We have created a special fund to put that money in, but it's still accountable to Parliament, because Parliament passed the law, giving authority to do it. Between 2005 and 2016, we collected hundreds of millions of dollars under the Petrocaribe program. There was no law authorizing government to collect the money on behalf of you, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and certainly no law authorizing government to spend that money.
So he's coming after him.
It sounds, I said it to some colleagues of mine at a meeting in Miami sometime, and they laughed.
Let's just get the vote.
Because they thought this is ridiculous, you can't have that. Jamaica was under the same program in 2005. They established the law in 2005 because they had accountability. They didn't put in a consolidated fund, they established a special fund. But it came to Parliament. In St. Vincent, that money was collected and spent until 2016. The Petrocaribe Special Fund Act was passed in the Parliament. And here's what happened. There's a provision towards the end that says that basically all the money we spent, all the things that we did in the name of the fund, so long as it wasn't fraud, that is all properly done. So it was retroactive. And we had been complaining about the use of this fund. Money was being collected, they were putting in the companies were formed, we didn't even know in Parliament. And hundreds of millions of dollars were supposedly being spent in our name. It was kept out of the debt. until the IMF complained about it in its report from 2016, where it says that $112 million of public debt was not put on the books. They weren't brought to account. So now it's come back as part of our national debt. Because it was a loan. Petrocredit is not a gift. It's a loan. The money is loaned to us under the scheme at a low interest rate at 2% per annum. But that is how that was spent. And this is why accountability is critically important, because that money, we don't know how it was spent. And somebody coming into Parliament with a list saying this is what we spend this on, this is what we spend it on. That is not how it's supposed to be done. That has to be checked by the auditor. It has to be come to Parliament and say this is how we're spending it. When you're spending it, that after you're done, and come 2 years later and saying this is how we spend it. And Cabinet gave approval to do it. Cabinet always gives approval, but we still have accountability through Parliament. So those are the things that we need to do. And as a government, I promise you that we will adhere to the law as it is. There's much more. The Algal International Airport, I know that many of us here in the diaspora, you like it because you can fly straight to, well, not from Montreal, no, I know that. But, you know, over $1 billion of public funds have been spent, and there's been no accounting for it. I had a meeting with the Auditor General and asked her about it, whether she had a duty to account for it, and she said yes. She was at the ship time. She said yes, but she doesn't have the resources to do it. She doesn't have the means to do it because they need special accountants and so on to do it, and she accepted the fact that it was necessary to do such an accounting. You cannot have $1 billion of public funds being spent, and just because you can show a physical project, you say, well done. That is not how you account for the use of public money, and you must insist on it. And one of the things that we say in the Democratic Party is that accountability is not negotiable. It is an absolute must. We hold that government responsible, and when we come to government, you should hold us responsible. Now I just want to talk about one issue in passing quickly, because you might have heard about it, the Canada issue. Many persons might have heard of what's going on in Canada. There was a lot of stuff in the radio and in the newspaper lately, and it seems that in Canada, the only time that something ever happens is when there is some problem that you hear about it. And the issue there now is not about the beaches, particularly Alberta continues to be an issue. It's about the dispute. It's about the dispute that we had with the location of a private school. The school now is located in the premises of one of the developers down to the south, but it's actually owned by the developer to the north. The developer to the north and the south used to be one. They had a dispute, they separated. The one to the south got one part where the marine is, and the other one to the north has the hotel. But they're still responsible for the school. And the one to the south said, well, I want you to move your school because it's on my land. And they said, well, we'll see. But they haven't moved it. And now it comes to a head. People saying they want to develop their land, you have to move the school. So the discussion came about as to what's going to happen with the school. And there was a discussion between the government, it seems, and the developer to the north, where they said that they were going to locate the private school on the compound of the government land of the Canada government school. And the people of Canada said, no, this is unreasonable. You know, the developers own most of the land in Canada already. Plus the public space is being used for games and so on. Why would you encroach on the playing field? And the people were very adamant about it. They came out and there was protests and so on. And the government, nobody from the government went down to talk to the people. So the representative Terence Olvey and myself, we went down to Canada. We had a town hall meeting much like this. And the people basically said what their concerns were. I know the government was listening because I hear now they have changed their position on certain things that were going to happen. The people want to get the secondary school built, which was promised on the development by the developers, that the secondary school will be built in Canada. That is part of the promise now. But it wasn't tied originally to any exchange of land to put a private school. It was always part of the development that you would help to improve the education opportunities for people in Canada. So that is where the problem has come. And when it flares up, it brings to me another issue of very, very great importance, especially for persons who live in the Grenadines and people say up north about the Dry River, out in North Leeward, is the need to have a proper structure in place to deal with local issues. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we don't have any proper system of local government. It used to be that you had local government back in the 50s. I think in 1972 thereabouts it was abolished, certainly in the Northern Grenadines. But you must bring government closer to the people and to give them jurisdiction to deal with local matters, so that you don't have, when there's an issue, somebody rises up, takes it, and may take it off into a path that is not, it might get a lot of headlines, but not be, in the end, constructive. So I want, as the New Democratic Party in government, to review that system of local government and to ensure that where it makes sense, the cricketers will cut it. The footballers playing, the footballers will cut it. I used to practice football on Saturday mornings with another gentleman. A lady used to volunteer her tractor to cut the grass for the kids. Did that for over 10 years, voluntarily. Government is not there, not present. Things like, maintaining public buildings. You should see the state of public buildings in St. Vincent. There's a building you come into the harbour in Bacchus, the main revenue building. I hope they paint it before I go back home. It hasn't had a coat of paint in 17 years. When the Prince came some time ago, somebody power washed it for them to make it look a little presentable. But right now it's in a state of disrepair. It looks disgusting. The airport in Bacchus, the Jettenshire Airport, I kid you not, there's some doors that are missing. The eaves around the outside, you could go upside and inside because the eaves are missing. It's leaking. These are things, they all are affected by the lack of any disposable income or money in the party government to deal with capital projects and maintenance projects. The economy, to come back from where it started and where I'll end, that the economy is critically important. And right now, the economists in Vincent and Grenadines is struggling. That's why all these other things are struggling. But more than that, the government, if they ever had a way, they've lost it. They're not focusing on the needs of people. They're focusing on how they can escape the wrath of the people. By manipulating elections, by going to a private house in New York instead of going to public meeting, basement meeting. Because by not going down to meet the people in Canawan to do a public town hall meeting or forum with the people to find out what their grievances are, but finding ways to manipulate people. A little handout here, a shiny object there. Elections are over. People say what happened. That will not happen again. Kay told you of some of the problems we had with the electoral process. We want to ensure that never happens again. And our petitions go forward. We expect to win on December the 3rd. The lawyers are preparing and they've done a fantastic job. The people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines want change. I am prepared to lead that change. We need your help. Now you in the diaspora, you are critically important to us, I said at the beginning. Very, very important. So tell us how we can be of assistance to you as well. And thank you very much.